Welcome back.
Okay.
Do you want a pump up song?
I'm pumped.
You're pumped?
No, but put a pump song.
Okay, cool. What do you want? Okay, welcome to CDR. This is our end of year roundup. Welcome. Yeah,
thank you. I'm
sick.
happy to be.
I'm glad to see you once again, Matt. It's been a fun year. Would you like to walk down memory lane?
So this is what I think this podcast should be. Us going back very quickly through the albums, and we've listened to every single album again over the last week. To relive the memories. It'd be nice to see if your opinions have changed, what your prevailing thoughts are on an album.
Okay, I'm going to rapid fire the albums to you. You're going to tell me.
This is like the inkblot test.
Yep. I'm going to rapid fire, and you're going to have to quickly answer me.
And just as a precursor to this, because the Jimi Hendrix album was corrupted.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Because the Jimi Hendrix is not going to go up, we'll do it again next year, but we'll pretend as though we haven't done it yet, and we will never reference it again. Starting now.
Purple Haze is Oh, sorry.
Go. You're going to do the ink block.
Okay, we're doing the ink block. Fuck love.
This album, when I listened to it again, he just sounded younger and younger each time I listened to it. The music was just dumb. I appreciated the lyrics a bit more on the listen.
Cool. Folklore.
Aged well, actually. I thought the album got better over time. I tended to like more songs.
More songs? Oh, which songs did you like more as we went on?
I really particularly liked... I hate saying this because I know that you like this song.
My Tears Ricochet.
Yeah, it's not a bad track. And there was another one, Invisible Strings.
Invisible Strings, yeah, that was always good. Cool, we'll move on past the next one. Nothing is true, everything is possible.
I've listened to that album a bunch of times. My opinion on it's pretty much the same.
Alright, cool, move on.
Dreamers Hotel's a banger.
Dreamers Hotel is still the banger?
Absolutely.
The banger, not the king?
Nah.
I
mean, that's a good track, but Dreamers Hotel, just
cool.
Take it to the bank.
The New Abnormal, we'll talk about this one a little bit more as we go on.
New Abnormal, you know what? I used to think it was like a local Merlot coffee, but I'm thinking it's more of a Jamaican fine roast that you have on good occasions. I'm warming more to it, believe it or not.
Yep, PIXELBATH.
So PIXELBATH is a funny one. On the re-listen, I found there were tracks that I really liked, and they were the ones that I liked before. But the tracks that I didn't like, I felt lost some ground. It felt a bit dysfunctional on my listen through. But the songs that I liked, I was bopping about to.
Yep.
So, funny one. I felt like I was a bit more polarized on it.
Busta Rhymes, Extinction Level Event 2.
The one thing that I found is I'm inevitably comparing this album to Kid Laroi, but the fact that I listened to these albums back to back, it sort of showed me how much more mature and more interesting Busta Rhymes is by comparison. In that stake, I think Busta Rhymes' album grew on me, but it was relative only to Kid Laroi, so I don't think I'd change the score of it, but I'd probably dock Kid Laroi a point or two.
OHMS.
Oddly, I was warming to a couple of tracks. I don't know, maybe I'd tick up the score by half a point, but I'm not rushing out to go listen to it again, but I didn't despise it as much as I thought I would.
Don't waste your anger.
This album went the other way. I found it harder and harder to listen to.
Fuck this brick guy.
It's just his voice and just some of the choices they made. Yeah.
Okay. Visuals and Bodies.
This was a funny one. This album is like reading a book. So once you've read the book a few times, I don't know that I'd need to go back and listen to it again. So I find that I am enjoying the memory of listening to this album more than re-listening to the album explicitly. That being said, the tracks that I like on this album growing on me, but the songs that I was lukewarm on, I basically just want to forget about.
Okay, cool. Yungblud WIERD.
Oddly warming to it. It's like eating candy, right? There's just no way to really just dislike it, but I don't get any sustenance out of it. But that being said, like, if someone chucks it on, I'm pretty happy about it.
Cool. One we just did. Okay, Computer.
So I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 on the first podcast. So the revision to that is, it's kind of like the same as PIXELBATH. There was tracks that I really am warming to, and then the ones that I don't like, I really just want to throw off the plane. But there are fewer tracks on this particular album that I particularly dislike. So I wouldn't change. I'm still feeling about the same, but a bit more perhaps polarized. Your turn.
My turn.
Kid Laroi.
Kid Laroi. Lost points. It's nothing but a drama queen. Too much backstabbing. I lost my notes from the first time I listened to this. Thank God. Because all I really wanted to write down was, it's not that hard to get through, still lyrically not strong. Overuse of overtune, don't care where my notes are gone. This is just a backstabbing full of drama. It should have been called fucking drama.
Or fuck me.
All childish play.
Folklore?
Folklore is made by one of my favorite artists, being from the Nationals, but My opinion has shifted. I'm skipping a hell of a lot more songs, listening less, and I'm mainly just going to songs that I really want to listen to, which would be My Tears Ricochet, Mirror Ball, which is your favorite. You do love it, and I still listen to it and go, I don't hear it.
No, I think
Empathy, I'm still like, Epiphany. I try to fall into the trance. I cannot, but I'm not going to doubt that they're great songs, and they are great songs. I'm just not drawn to them like I am with My Tears Ricochet.
Nothing is true and everything is possible.
Fucking love this album.
Great.
I love this album. I'm so glad you introduced this to me, because this is one of the 3 albums that I always go back to listen to when I'm doing work, and I just need to pop on my headphones and throw it on.
You say you're enjoying it more.
I am enjoying it more, especially Dreamers Hotel is definitely up there. What else? I actually had recommendations. So Tina, even though I thought I didn't remember it, but that's only because the song before it, what was it, Revive?
Apology for Extinction.
No, it was like a bleed-in song, Revive 3 or Reprise 3, and that's why I thought I missed Tina, because that kind of was just like a 30-second track. But Tina,
there is no alternative.
That song, I love it, and the King kind of grew on me because it's more pumped up. But The Great Unknown is still probably one of the best. It just starts out great, and I still think it just gets better as it goes on.
New Abnormal.
New Abnormal is my go-to. It is like the coffee beans at the perfume store. You go to this album when you need to cleanse your smell or your taste buds, because it's a great album, but it's a great cleanser.
So this album got nominated for a Grammy.
Did it?
Yep. Is This It didn't get nominated for a Grammy, but the New Abnormal did. I don't know what the result of it is going to be, but I'm obviously desperately hoping that it wins. The next album, of course, is PIXELBATH.
PIXELBATH, I think, awesome. Every time I listen to it, I just like, I've never heard anything like this.
Warmed to it then?
I always was warm to it.
Are you warmer?
This is one of the albums where I don't run to change songs, but if like I was today trying to find like which songs I'm going to put on my list, I definitely was skipping songs pretty quick, and I didn't need to think about which is my favorite song on this track.
ELE2.
ELE2 is the album that I skip the most songs.
It does have the most songs on it.
Which makes it, which my comment stands true. But I still don't mind it. It's not that bad. And I actually warmed up to this album more than I did at the start. I thought I was disappointed at the start. I'd give it more points if I gave points.
Yeah, I'd probably give it an extra half a point myself.
Yeah, there are songs and I'll just go, Mariah Carey, you can fuck right off. I still think that one is trash.
I really don't like the Kendrick Lamar track.
Look over your shoulder.
Oh, look over your shoulder.
Yeah, fair enough. I skipped that song too.
OHMS?
OHMS grew on me. Only because I still listen to it and go, this would be so sick to see live.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I would ever go. I don't want to buy their albums. I don't want to listen to this album driving around. But if I can't get to a concert, I'll throw this on, because it would be so cool to go see this shit.
Yeah, I'd go watch Deftones in concert. Don't waste your anger.
See, fuck you. I love the way he sings. I love that. I like people you say can't sing, and it's shitty.
No, I got to be very careful with the language that you use. I don't say that he can't sing. I really dislike the quality of his voice.
Okay.
He can sing. I just don't like the
He brings hope to people like me who don't do very well at singing. So, would you like another beer?
Then what sort of yes, please. What sort of advocation is that, right? It's like, he makes me feel like I could sing. It's like, so what low ebb does he occupy, right?
He brings a super rusty voice that I kind of like the rusty voices, and it's fine by me, but this album I do enjoy, and I don't rush to change any of the songs on this one either. There is maybe 1 or 2 songs, but as time went by, It's Okay, which you kind of didn't like, which was the acoustic song.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with this.
I enjoyed that song.
Yep.
I enjoy that song a hell of a lot more. The more I listen to it, I feel more emotions from it, and I like that kind of part. I would give this more points.
Okay.
Clippings being just a horror show, and I skip a lot of songs in these ones, and I just go to my favorite ones. And I still am in awe of them using the apparatus engine. Even if they don't use it, they just use...
They call it the apprehension machine?
Engine,
okay, yeah.
And if they don't use it, they're just using samples from movies. That's fine, because it's so unique and artistic. And It's just brilliant. I would say, like, anyone who would have looked at a Picasso or Van Gogh the first time be like, oh, this is rubbish. 100 years down the track, they all go, this is amazing.
I get the feeling you appreciate it more, maybe enjoy it less.
Yep, and I do 100% agree with you that the memory of the journey with the album is more memorable than listening to the album.
Because I think arguably it was my most enjoyable first listen through.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed that week a lot, even making my wife like just cringe. If putting it first thing on in the morning, she's like, I can't take this in the morning. Be like, why not?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not? But then there's people out there going, you could do that with Deftones. No, you can't. Fuck you.
Weird, Yungblud.
Weird. Look, it's cotton candy gets stuck in your teeth.
So you agree with my sentiment then?
Yeah, I can't wait to see more from Yungblud.
Fair enough.
Okay, Computer.
Did you have a shift in the 1 week between podcasts?
Nah, it's still the same. It's like, I'll listen to it. If it gets put on, I don't really care. But I'm not going to run to put it on. Nothing changes. Would I want to? I'd listen to more Radiohead if I have to, but I'm not inspired to listen to
more. Of all of the albums that we listened to, were there any artists that you were driven to listen to their other music as a result? Don't worry, it's just the ghosts.
Yeah, cool.
The question stands, did you listen to any other music by any of the other artists that we listened to this year as a result of having listened to their album?
Okay, so Gene Dawson's actually listened to a lot.
Yeah.
Who else? Who was a first?
So for me, like, I went through and chewed through a bunch of the Stroke.
You went to...
Yeah, no, I went to Is This It? And went and listened to that a bunch of times. I think that album is great. I don't know how I missed
I think the Strokes are great. And I walked into my climbing gym the other day and I was like, you can pick it.
It just comes with just a charisma that I never really appreciated probably when I heard Last Night the first time. I didn't realize that they were capable of the sheer sense of charisma and vocal timing with a lot of their songs mixed in with their two guitars. Yeah, it's great. I really, really, really enjoy their stuff.
I actually didn't go back and listen to many of the other, like, before or afters of any of these albums.
Deftones, to be honest.
Yeah, I did too. Gene Dawson's the only one because he only had one album before, and I was like, I'd like to hear where he started.
Yep.
Strokes are great. I did go back and listen to a couple of Enter Shikari's.
Yep. You had mixed reviews for their previous albums.
I think I would have to listen to them all to be able to understand where you're coming from, but I would probably give them a go considering how much I love that album.
Yeah. I mean, for mine, I just keep going back to Minesweeper. I actually think that's their best album.
You think it's their best?
Yeah, I definitely do. Nothing is True and Everything is Possible, I think, is their most accessible album, but I think their best is definitely Minesweeper. It's bookended by two awesome atmospheric tracks with a little bit of a spoken word poetry on either ends.
Oh, what? Slam poetry?
Kind of. I mean, they do love it. Yeah, absolutely Minesweeper is something to go back to. I would listen to Is This It if you haven't really given it a go for the Strokes. Couldn't recommend it enough.
Cool. Let's move on. What grew on you as time went by?
You know what? I'm embarrassed to say Folklore grew on me the most.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think Yungblud grew on me the most.
So I probably haven't enough time for it to grow on me. I think with Yungblud, I enjoy it, but it lacks a depth that allows me to sink my teeth into it enough. Whereas, sadly, with Taylor Swift stuff, I hate admitting to liking her stuff, but lyricism on that album has some degrees of interest that are probably deeper than I would say Yungblud presents.
And if you like Folklore, I strongly suggest listening to High Violet by the Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do a Nationals album next year, right?
If they bring out an album, I think they brought out one this year.
Dude, we just listened to OK Computer. Take your pick.
That's okay.
You do you.
Look, it's High Violet is easily in my top 5, if not gunning for first place.
Okay, fair enough. What is it about the Yungblud album that grew on you?
It was nostalgic, and the more I listened to, the more I really didn't care that it was quite childish, because it is for the younger generations, but I did enjoy a lot of, I guess, that English sort of humor that came through in the talk. There was a lot of choppy and change in the album, which I kind of enjoyed the fact that there was like, it's samples of what to come possibly in the future.
I really hope that he leans into that Brit wit and maybe just a tiny bit edgier and maybe with just a little bit more lyrical consideration. That would be nice.
Look, get rid of cotton candy and that real like almost mainstream trying to pull in the young girls. I just
So like what's the track that they released? Charity, right?
Yeah.
My brain too. I don't mind that particular track. It's not so deep that you have to study the lyrics, right? And I like those tracks in and around the place. But I think where the album falls down is in its slower moments. It's Quiet in Beverly Hills,
Love Song, Mars.
They just sort of show maybe a little bit of shortcoming. He's good at energy and a little bit of British wit, but it would be nice if he could just get a little bit more complexity into the song song structure and lyricism itself. And then he'd be a fantastic.
Look,
he'd probably be generation defining for mine.
If he threw in some other songs besides those three, I would have rated that album a lot higher. Who disappointed you?
The most?
The most.
This is not going to surprise you, but comfortably Don't Waste Your Anger was the most disappointing album we listened to this year. And I think the reason it was the most disappointing is, you know, I knew Death to the Lads. I thought that song's an alright track. Then we listened to the first track of Don't Waste Your Anger together, the God is Dead,
yeah.
which I think is the best track on the album, to be honest.
Do you?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Disagree with that.
Imagine, from my perspective, the disappointment then that if that is what I consider to be the best track, everything thereafter I think sort of pales in comparison. And his voice is just, I can't get past it. And so it was never...
I guess once you get past the voice, the album gets really good. Sure. Because I consider The End of the World and It's Okay being two of my favorites.
But that wasn't the only thing that was wrong with the album. There were song structure choices, some of the mix choices didn't allow the musical eccentricities to really shine through properly. The songs sometimes just feel the same because they haven't mixed it in a way that allows the defining features of the music to show through sharply enough, which is why when you listen to God is Dead, it does such a good job of swinging through different phases and emotional strengths, and quiet and it's loud and the riffs are pronounced. That's why I think that track is the best. I actually think it's the most well thought out track, and that's why I think it's the best. And then listening to the rest, there were moments it looked like they were going to harness that properly, and then they would let it go. So like it would be half, it was almost like every single track, half of the track was good, and then they'd bottle it somehow. Like they're playing a, you know, egg and spoon race. Get to the finish line, just throw the egg down in a tantrum is what's coming to mind. That's why it's my most disappointing. What about you?
My most disappointing would be Busta Rhymes. Only because I hyped myself up because I thought it was just going to be this epic album that...
elements of
it did. There was so much, there was just too much going on, too many songs. Don't need to justify how much I dislike MC, but it was hard to get through. But when you find those songs and those gems in there, which are gems, they are definitely diamonds in the rough, you hold on to them, and that's why I held on to this album. But there's only so little amount of songs in there that I actually climb onto. All the others, like, they just make me cringe, or I don't want to listen to it. They're not structured. They're not yet on Mariah motherfucking Carey.
Well, let's move into better territory.
Yeah, let's go into something good. Not your least favorite album, but your second.
My second least favorite album was Extinction Level Event 2. What was your favorite album?
My favorite album of the year.
Is that a drum roll?
Oh, I can make a drum roll.
No, you were doing a drum roll.
That is my drum roll.
Right,
yeah.
Anyway.
My favorite album of the year will probably have to be...
You're literally choosing it right now, aren't you?
Oh, it's so hard.
How about I say mine?
You say yours, but artistically, there's my favorite. I want to give out an award for the most artistic.
You can give an honourable mention.
Okay, honourable mention. I'm going to give an honourable mention to Clippings.
Yep.
PIXELBATH.
Yep. My
favorite of the year will always be The Strokes.
Yeah, the New Abnormal was, I think, my favorite album this year. Easily.
Solid behind then would have been Shikari.
As another honourable mention.
Folklore, definitely. I tried to come up with a top 5. Could only get 4 because I was struggling for a 5th.
So, favourite songs, the top 5. Do you want to do yours, or do you want me to go first? What do you want to do?
Oh, you just want to do number 5?
So let's each do number 5.
Okay, number 5.
My number 5 was Epiphany by Taylor Swift.
Knew it would be.
I always go back to it, and each time I'm like, oh, this song's kind of simple. I'll play it, and it takes me to a zen space that I like.
Yep, fair enough. Understand. My number 5 is Calm Down, which is on the extended version of Extinction Level Event number 2, which is featuring Eminem. You heard it before, and I quite frankly think that is the best song, and it was hard to choose between that and what was my other one, Slow Flow. But that just kicked it off because it had everything I wanted, which was like a killer old school beat, you know, Pain tribute. Busta Rhymes spitting, Eminem both spitting, and you read the lyrics. They are quite funny and witty, and they just blow you out of the water like, oh, god damn, Mrs. Abe Lincoln. Except for your husband's brains being blown out, how was the theatre show?
Yeah.
Like, you said they go, oh
fun.
my god.
Yeah.
Woo! Like the tribute to Jump Around, and they even point that out in the song. Like, that's why it made it into number 5, and it is probably my favorite from that album.
Alright, number 4.
Number 4, I'll go with this being my Taylor Swift favorite song.
Mirrorball, right?
Betty.
Fuck off.
Nah, My Tears Ricochet.
Had to be.
It always had to be. And every time I play that album, that's the only song I'm looking forward to.
Tears Ricochet. Yeah, look,
That song
I warmed to that song. I'm not going to lie. I was listening to it today, literally taking leaves out of my fucking gutters, and it calmed me listening to it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
something.
And that's why I like the song. You listen to it, and it kind of puts you in a good little spot.
Despite the content of the actual song.
Well, really?
It's hardly a, hey, the world's a great place. It's hardly one of those songs.
Well, no, you don't really need... you don't have to have every song. Yeah, My Tears... Well, yeah, My Tears, yeah.
She's laugh crying. My number 4 song is Exit Music by OK Computer. I fucking love that
Look,
song.
that is definitely a great track.
The build, the payoff at the end, and it's the final lyric. It's like, we hope you choke.
And he just sits there thinking about Leo just laying down, just like, I die for you.
You choke. I hope you choke. Like, it's just so fucking good.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Something Underneath by Clipping.
Ooh.
That song is fucking awesome. Every single time the tribal drums come in, the off-kilter rhythms and spitting lyrics, and then at the midway point, the static beat mixed in with the fact that his lyric spitting seems to accelerate a tiny bit, followed by a bit of a calm down, followed by what can only be described as the most frenetic end to a rap track that I've ever heard in my entire life, with the beats going and he's just going hard and hard and hard. You just feel like you're on a fucking roller coaster ride with this song. I remember very distinctly listening to it the first time, feeling like I was in a world of my own with the headphones on, going
Oh, you having a panic attack? Yeah,
like the best kind of panic attack you could ever hope to have. Fuck, I love this song. I still regularly come back to this one. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Waltzing Off the Face of the Earth.
Oh, yes.
Which would be the Enter Shikari, which for weeks was stuck in my head just with the bum bum. Regardless what you feel,
none of this is real.
And the earth isn't sphere.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not really... Like, it's just... The whole song all the way through just drives you. And I love it. The whole song is meant to be this circus. You're watching and they're playing out this act for you. But really, you're the act. And they're just watching and playing back for you. And it is... I love this song so much. It's just one of those out of left field you never saw coming. And it just stuck to you. Yep. Like, it just stuck and it never went away.
Circus is a good word.
It is a great. Everything about this song, from the bigoted parents now decide what teachers teach, like these witty little sayings throughout the whole thing just drive it forward and sucker you in. You go, fuck me. And that was hard not to put it at the top, but number 1 is by far the best.
So that was that your number?
That was number 3.
That was number 3.
You want to know what number 2 is?
Yeah, what's your number 2?
At the Door.
At the Door?
At the Door, which every time when I put this album on,
run at the door.
Yeah.
Anyone home? Yeah, it's a great
Have
track.
I lost it all?
I mean, people probably don't want to tune in and hear us sing it.
No, but I don't care.
This is such a drive-by. Like,
it's
such a singable track.
This is so good. The first time I listened to the album, I knew this would be the song that I love and I'm always going to go back to. And it is always the song I'm looking forward to listening to in the whole album, because it just drives and drives and drives all the way to the end, and it builds up of just people shitting on this one person in the song. And they just...
Great track.
Get yourself to shore like a stepping stone. People just walking all over you, but you're still driving forward to get to where they want to be. And it's a fun song. And it's just, you sit in the car just yelling it, just screaming. Emotionally, I like this song. It was a hard choice between Waltzing and those two. I would almost put them at equal second.
Fair enough. My number 2 track is Dreamer's Hotel by Enter Shikari.
Ah, true.
See, for a lot of the year, this track would have been my top track. It just always excites every time I hear it. Just that bubbling, abrasive bass synth sound that you get as the verse plays out, followed by what can only be described as a poppy chorus that fits in. It doesn't fit in, and that's how it fits in this bizarre way. It's an absolute...
I went back and I've listened to it many times, and I can see why you like this song.
Yeah,
it's a banger. It's absolute banger. Number 1.
So my number 1
Wait. What album?
Nah, you don't get that.
I want to guess what your number one is.
Nah. No, I want to tell you what my number one is.
I can't guess.
Nah. You get to guess my score every week.
Not every week. You know, not always.
Okay, guess. You have one pot shot.
86 Burst.
No.
Oh fuck.
No. My favorite track for the year was At the Door.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
That was my favorite track for the year.
Fuck yeah.
And you've probably noticed if you're listening to our top 5 that we're just picking one from any given album.
Yeah, it was.
So for me, it was a mix between At the Door and The Adults Are Talking for the best Strokes track. At the Door pips it, but I don't think by much.
The Adults Are Talking is probably the sickest entry song. The intro songs to all albums.
The best intros. Yeah, well, I mean, I was nearly going to pick it at number 1, so of course I have to say it's a good intro song, right? I mean, you've waxed lyrical already about At the Door, so I don't need to say any more. What was your favourite track for the year? Is it 06 Burst?
Yes, it's 06 Burst. It's a banger. That's a fucking banger. I love it. And in PIXELBATH, it's the only song I want to listen to.
Yep.
The whole time I'm like, I'll listen. I'll just get to 06 Burst. Like, this is the song I've been waiting for. And I fucking crank it. The banger of the year, and it's my number one. Oh, it is grimy, dirty, energetic, and by far just underrated.
It has a bizarre song structure. I mean,
so much.
It really feels like it's just a bunch of random ideas chucked together when you sort of sit back and look at it. But when you listen to it, if you just allow it to wash over you, it's definitely my favorite track on that album as well.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that they didn't make into your top 5.
It would be an honourable mention. It was fighting with Epiphany for number 5.
Oh, really? Ah, damn it. Honourable mentions?
Sure, we'll do a couple of quick ones.
Say the name.
Oh, make sure you don't... Oh no, it's only me in shot. Alright.
Matt saved the day.
Oh, kind of. Look how uneven we are.
That's alright.
Editing can fix that. Honourable mentions just quickly.
From clippings, I had Say the Name.
Yep, great track.
You don't care about Smith Street Band.
That's not true. God is Dead is an honourable mention.
I Still Dream of You, The End of the World, and It's Okay. I really warmed to It's Okay by the end of it. The same as My Tears Ricochet. Just emotionally, it kind of drew me in. Teresa by Yungblud.
That's a fun track.
Strawberry Lipstick. Super Dead Friends.
Yeah, that was up there.
God Save Me, But Don't Drown Me. The Adults Are Talking were definitely there.
Radiant City by OHMS. Radiant City on OHMS by Deftones.
No.
So that would be an honourable mention for me.
It probably was.
We're just throwing out honourable mentions.
Yeah. Right, you do you, boo. Brooklyn Bridge to Chorus.
Yeah, I like that track.
That was definitely in my 3, including The Adults Are Talking, Slow Flow, and then The Great Unknown, Tina, and The King. All being honourable mentions. Now, hey.
That's the year done.
That is the year done, but who are you looking forward to in the future to hear more from?
Man.
Okay, I'm just going to say I'm looking forward to hearing more from Yungblud, and I hope he goes more upbeat, angry, and just drop the Mars and the love story and all that shit.
I really hope Clipping drop another album.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
happily jump in and listen to that.
Clippings would be... Have you tried listening to the other albums?
I haven't yet. I sort of want to save it up, just have a listen to it when I have nothing else to do.
On the Friday 13th.
Yeah, something like that. But in terms of sort of more broadly, I mean, there's so many albums that we really didn't get a chance to listen to here. I'm sure I'll subject you to them next year.
Yes, and I can't wait, because at some time in the future, we will get a little bit more into it. I have an album to start off with.
Let's do it.
I'm going for a local band from Brisbane.
Okay. Not Powderfinger. I don't want to listen to Vulture Street again. We've already done the old school albums.
No, I don't think I could, actually. I don't think I really could do Powderfinger.
Oh, now I have to do Powderfinger for you.
Yeah, okay,
anyway,
cool. Ballpark Music with Ballpark Music.
Self-titled?
Self-titled.
Ballpark Music.
I think it's like their 3rd or 4th album. I'm looking forward to it because I do like Ballpark Music. It's a fun little band.
Okay, great. Look forward to it.
Yeah, sick.
So that's been 2020, thankfully.
Yeah, no one got the vid.
Not in this particular duo.
No.
And hopefully we don't in 2021.
And I can't wait for the future upgrades.
And when we actually post it.
Like, we've done this and we haven't even put in any videos out yet.
We haven't put an album out either.
No.
Oh, imagine that.
Oh, God, it would be horrible.
Anyway, on that sour note.
It'd be better than Fuck Love.
Maybe. We'll see you next year.
We'll see the... Bye.